looks like it's working. I love when it works, and I'm live here. Of course, there will be a recording you can watch anytime. Welcome to the Profitable Farm Facebook group and 3Cow Marketing. Today, I wanted to talk about burnout on the farm, and pun intended, because it's also going to be 97 degrees out. It's actually pretty hot already, and many of you are in the same boat. Burnout on the farm, though, can happen any time of year. I know it's happening to you. It happens to me. It happens to my husband, my family. I've learned how to prevent it. So in the 10 years that we've been farming, I've learned a lot of things over the years that help prevent it, or when I find myself in the midst of it and I'm ready to just throw everything up in the air and quit everything, I can do these things to manage it and bring myself back down and not be so crazy. So one thing a lot of people do is they think they're going to put things off till it's less busy, till the slow season. And my experience on my own farm, and again, working with now thousands of farmers over the years, working with their marketing, there really is no slow season on a farm. And if you don't deal with it now or work to prevent it, and you say, I'll deal with that in the slow season when things slow down, it's really not going to happen. And you're going to continue to be burned out because, you know, this time of year, we're doing the very urgent thing. We're keeping animals alive. We're keeping plants alive. Harvest is crazy. Our flowers every day, you know, new things need to be taken care of that weren't there yesterday. Butchering, slaughtering, moving, just keeping them watered so they don't die. So all that urgent stuff can take over. And so then if we try to put things off till the winter, like, you know, our marketing or a marketing class or reading up or fixing a bed or a pasture or fence or whatever, those things, then we're still burnt out in the winter too. So before you throw in the towel, and I know one thing, I wish I could just like jump up and leave to my own private island or something like that, but I can't do that. So I can't leave. I can't just quit. So what can we do? Well, I'm going to go over 6 things that I have learned over the years I really must do. I mean, these are must. I can't not do these things. I can't choose one or the other. I have to do all of them. And if you're not doing all of them, or you're not in a position to do all of them yet, just plan on doing them over time so that you can prevent this from happening in the future, like in the winter or when the holidays come or next spring and summer. All right, so the first thing is to hire help. Now, many of you, the first thought is, well, I can't afford to hire help. Well, 6 months after I started my raw milk dairy, I was a one-woman show. I knew that that was absolutely, completely unsustainable, especially raw milk and especially a micro dairy, because you can't be as automated as you can on a big dairy. So I hired my first person 6 months in, and I couldn't afford it. Just like you're thinking, I can't afford to hire more help or hire my first person. But you've got to figure out a way to hire them, whether it's increase your prices today or whatever that needs to be. Again, if you burn out and go out of business, like I see a lot of farmers do, rather than do these preventative things, you leave a whole community wishing they had your products. And I'm just checking my comments over here, scrambling to find another farmer to produce the products you used to produce. So you leave people, you leave your community scrambling when you just go out of business. So get to a point where you can hire help early on. You're gonna need it. I've had lots of people use woofers and interns, and I've had lots of people get in trouble and make huge mistakes using woofers and interns. I've had farmers get sued, you know, their interns then file for unfair, you know, wages and back wages, and they've had to go out of business because they owe thousands and thousands of dollars to this intern once the intern becomes aware that they aren't being treated fairly. So be careful of that. It certainly works if you know how to do it right and if you have a good one, but I've heard tons of horror stories. So be careful with that. That's why I have preferred to hire help. The other reason I prefer to hire help is the job on my farm is very technical. Producing safe raw milk is nothing I will put in the hands of an intern or a woofer or, frankly, a volunteer either. I want to be able to look my customers in the eye and guarantee that the person producing their raw milk knows how to do it safely and has been trained a certain number of weeks and hours in doing that job that way. So if something ever happens, I don't have to say, oh yeah, I had a volunteer doing it. No wonder we got E. coli in the milk or something like that. So that's my personal preference. There are other people who do that with interns and woofers and volunteers if you want. So if you want to figure out how to do that. My personal preference, though, has been to hire help. And I pay really well. Minimum wage does not work on a farm. $12 an hour is kind of low. You know, they can make that driving school buses or even working at Starbucks or doing something in the cool weather or out of the weather. So we pay anywhere from $15 to $25 an hour for our employees, which means our products have to cover that cost. So that brings me to number 2, which is raise your prices. The best way for you to be able to afford something that you need for your farm is to raise your prices today. Oh, Adrian Hugh is on here from Hawaii. I want to go visit you in Hawaii. So I'm sure it's cooler than Oregon right now. So thanks for being here, Adrian. So raising your prices. Now I have a whole free worksheet on how to calculate your prices so that you're making sure you're getting your profit margins in there of about 35 to 40%. And also you're accounting for all the things that go into producing your products. And then chances are you're like most farmers who I work with for the first time, and they are severely underpricing. So raise your prices. That will help you avoid burnout because you'll be able to finally hire some help, even if it's part-time, even if it's hiring someone to come clean your house. You know, I have hired yard work help because I can't work on the farm all day and teach you guys and then go feel motivated to pull weeds. So we have yard help now too. So it doesn't necessarily mean you hire help to do farm chores. Maybe you want to do that and your family does that, but you need help to clean house and work in the yard or do other things. You know, take your car to the car wash, take your clothes to the lawn or to the dry cleaners. We used to iron all our clothes and we used to wash all our cars. And now we're so busy we can't do that. So raising your prices is not, and hiring help is not just help on the farm, but take care of those things. Look where you can pay someone to do those other things so that you don't burn out. Oh, you have a milk goat, Adrian. Oh my gosh, I would love to come milk your goat. I've never milked a goat, but I'm sure if I milked a cow, I can probably milk a goat. So how fun would that be? And you're 85 degrees daytime in Hawaii, everyone, just so you know that. All of us who are 97, 105, 115. Let's all go to Hawaii. Okay, so moving on. Strong boundaries. You've really, many of us, you know, we're in the customer service industry. If we're selling direct to consumer, we're here to serve people, serve our communities, please people, give customer service. It's so easy to not say no. It's too easy to say, oh, sure, I'll do that for you. Sure, I'll deliver that since you can't pick up today. Oh, sure, I'll go out of my way to do an extra stop for you, or I will bottle it differently just for you. Or it could be friends and family you have to say no to. Whatever that might be, set those strong boundaries. Let's see, when we first started our farm, you could stop in our farm, in our garage where our milk was set up. We didn't have a store back then. Any time of day, 7 days a week, and get milk. So therefore, we would try to sit out in our backyard on a summer evening and eat dinner. And people would come get their milk and they'd feel really comfortable coming up and saying hi and interrupting our dinner constantly. Or if it's Sunday morning and I wanted to walk out in my jammies and my coffee cup and do something in the yard, and then a customer drives up, I had to learn to set very tight boundaries with customers. So now we're open 4 days a week for 2 hours at a time, because I've learned if you tell people what you can offer them, they will fit into that time. They will make it work. And that's really great for so many more reasons, like the more people in the store at once, the more sales you make. So now I just have 4 days a week for 2 hours at a time with people at my house. And I feel I have so much more space in life because of that. So set your boundaries, whether it's on your farm, with your customers, employees, family, friends, with yourself, whatever those boundaries might be. Get really good at that. you will find your burnout a little relief from that too. And oh, Nick Burton, awesome. They're from Texas. I wonder how hot it is in Texas. I've heard it's pretty hot there lately. And Alberta, cool, love it. Welcome all you guys. Hey, Amy. So number 4 is figure out the highest and best use of your time. This is a big one. Farmers, we get into farming because we love farming. We love the animals, we love the plants, we love the flowers, we love the dirt, the soil, we love seeing it improve. But there's going to come a point in your farm where the highest and best use of your time is not weeding the flowers, harvesting the vegetables, milking the cows even, or selling your product in your farm store. So what I've learned to do is I keep a 4 degrees. Oh, you're in winter. Penelope is in New Zealand, and it's winter there, 4 degrees Celsius. Woo! That's weird to think of when it's 97 here. Okay, back to the highest and best use of your time. What I recommend is keep track of what you do throughout the day for about a week, and then take some time to put a dollar value on all those things you keep track of. By the way, you don't have to take notes. I've got a blog post on this. It's going to be sent out Tuesday. So make sure you're on our email list, which I think most of you are, so you get that blog post. Okay, so here's what mine looks like. If I'm milking cows, to milk cows on our farm, it's $15 to $20 an hour, depending on the person. So that's what I'm going to put for, if I'm milking cows, that's a, say, $20 an hour job. Then if I come in my house and I'm cleaning my house, cleaning my toilets, mopping my floor, at the end of the week, I'm going to put $25 an hour on that because that's what I pay a house cleaner now. Okay, so that's a $25 an hour job. I have a virtual assistant who's $50 an hour who does some more technical things on my website that I could research and do myself, but she's more efficient. She's $50 an hour. And then I send out 2 marketing emails a month, and those bring in about $20,000 in sales a month. And it takes me roughly, a few hours to write and research the email, the blog post, get it set up and do that. So say I spend, let's see, how many hours with that? Say I spend 30 hours a month marketing. It works out to be about $600 an hour if I'm marketing. What I learned by that exercise is I can't afford to be milking cows at $20 an hour if I'm avoiding doing the market, if that's taking me away from the marketing that is making our farm $600 an hour. Got that? So the highest and best use of my time is working on the marketing first, the blogs, the education, the inspiration, repurposing them on Facebook and Instagram. I need to take my 3-4 hours a day, every day to do that. And then if there's time left over, I go out and do something on the farm that needs to be done or that I want to do. All right. So that may look totally different for you, but you need to figure out the highest and best use of your time and then do that and then pay someone to do the other things. And that will help you with burnout too. All right. So, and then Indiana is 85. Oh my goodness. So all across the country on Instagram, I saw you guys having rain this week somewhere on the Midwest, and Indiana got a lot of rain. We haven't had rain in weeks, and we won't for weeks or months. So I'm jealous of that rain too. Keeping on moving here. Self-care, number 5. This is huge for all of us, men and women alike. We don't do enough self-care, especially, in those times of burnout. Sometimes at some point, the best thing for you to do might be to stop everything, even though your to-do list is miles long, and take a walk. In my family, when I'm feeling burnout, that's a cue that I haven't been riding my horse enough. We don't make any money riding our horses, but I'll say, okay, tonight we aren't going to work late. We're going to jump on our horses and go on a trail ride, or we're going to haul somewhere. Go take a day and go to the river or the lake, because all those weeds are going to be there tomorrow too. So just make sure your animals are fed and watered, and take some self-care. That might look different for people. Maybe it's a pedicure for you. You know what I'm doing this afternoon when it's super hot? I'm taking my daughters to see the new Mamma Mia movie. So the farm is going to go on. We got people here working, and I'm going to sneak out and go to a movie because I have to. That's part of what I do it's one of the things I'm doing for self-care. So make sure you're doing that. Because again, if you don't do it, you will do what happens to me every once in a while. And I get to the point where I say, forget it. It's too much. I'm burnt out. We're going to quit. We're going to close everything down and run away. And I'm going to get a job at Starbucks. You know, how many of you do that? Like, you're like, sell everything. This isn't worth it. When you incorporate some self-care into there to help prevent that, you'll be amazed at how well it works. And I do something every day, even if it's my yoga class in the morning or something like that. So self-care looks different for everyone, but make sure you're doing it. And the last thing, number 6, is just checking my comments over here, but it looks good. Number 6 is you keep a strict schedule. So a lot of people, you know, social media can take you down a long, deep hole for a long time. So someone asked me the other day, like, how do you get back to your personal friends on Facebook and your business friends or Instagram? And I said, when I go on Facebook or Instagram during the day, it's purely business. It's business reasons. I set a timer for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and I adhere to that, and I'm very disciplined about it. My personal feed is actually eradicated. I do not see a personal Facebook feed anymore. You can look that up. Facebook eradicator, Facebook feed eradicator. So I don't see any personal stuff. All I see is my Facebook group that I'm going into right now and my private course group where we are given marketing lessons all day. That's all I see. So it's easy for me to avoid it. So be very strategic about when you have to use social media. Everything else on my calendar is I schedule everything, including my personal time on my calendar. So it's easy. Let's see if I had any notes on this. So then anyway, when you have that schedule, it's easy to tell someone yes or no, or to delegate something because you've got your calendar schedule and you adhere to it. Don't give in. Don't take away from your personal time to go, you know, make that extra delivery for a customer or something like that. Stick to your schedule. Of course, you have to be flexible. Of course, there are emergencies, but that strict schedule allows for you to deal with those emergencies, I've learned. Okay, so that's it. That's real quick. Let me just sum those up. I got them right here. To avoid burnout, hire help. You can't afford to hire help. You need to do it. You especially need to do it. Raise your prices. Just say no. Strong boundaries, really strong boundaries. Make sure you're practicing the highest and best use of your time and delegating or hiring out the things that aren't the highest and best use of your time. And self-care. And lastly, stick to your strict schedule. So those are the 6. They're in a blog post, so you don't have to take notes. I'll even post that here. And I would love for you in the comments below or on the blog post, anywhere, what are the 2 things you do to avoid or to manage burnout? Because it happens to all of us. What is it you do? I'd love to hear, because I threw out a few things, but everyone's different and some of you have really great ideas. So tell me what you love to do. And thank you for letting me be here. Thank you for watching. We've got quite a few people watching. Love it. And love you guys. It's so great to have this community of people and seeing how you support each other too. So let me make sure I don't have any comments on Crowdcast, and it looks like everything's going great. So I'm going to end this video and I'll see you in the comment section too. Take care, everyone, and do something good for yourself today. Please avoid burnout. Woo. All right.